Alright, welcome back. We had talked about what graphics design was, and we said that graphics design involves using colors, images, symbols, textures, and a lot of all these things for the purpose of communicating one's idea or thought. Now, in this model, we want to look at what are the things, what are the constituents that aid in effective visual communication. Now, what are the things to consider? Now, these things I tell you are the essential elements of graphics design, which when you put all these things together, they help you achieve effective communication. So, breaking it down with everything, you can see that the elements of graphics design include images, words or text, colors, symbols, textures, shapes, and forms. Let me break it down so you can understand. The elements of graphics design is more like your ingredients for cooking your food. So, what you see is that if you want to cook, you might have salt, you might have maybe veggies or stuff like that. So all these elements are the things that we use to achieve effective visual communication. So with that said and done, let's look at a use case, one of the use cases where just images effectively communicates an idea or thought. Now I want you to look at this picture right here. What message comes to your mind? Without saying anything, you didn't see any text, you didn't see anything. What message comes to your mind? This is a simple act of kindness where someone tries to reach out to help someone who doesn't have. This is a simple act of kindness. This did not have any text on it. This was just using visuals, and this is an effective visual communication. And we're still going, like I said, irrespective of language barriers. These are the things that we try to achieve. Now the next thing would be this other image. What is it? Did he have any text? Did he have any pictures? What did you see? Just colors. This is the color of the France flag. And without anything, just this communicates a single idea for you to understand. First of all, the red talks about bravery and strength. The white there talks about honesty. And the blue there talks about loyalty. So we're trying to tell you that we're loyal, we're honest people, and we have strength. We can take on anything. You could trust us as much as we have a lot of power in making sure that we preserve it. This is how it is done. Is it that you use text, symbols, images, or whatever you think comfortable for you. And guess what? In creating your amazing visuals or in achieving your effective visual communication, you can use one or two of any of the elements of graphics design. Just like sometimes you could say, okay, maybe I want to use salt and veggies. Maybe you want to use tomatoes to prepare whatever you want to do. So that is it. You are at liberty to use one or two of these elements to achieve the kind of effective communication that you are looking for. So it can take any of the forms. Either using text, symbols, or anything. It can take any of the forms, but the single purpose is to communicate an idea or thought. So speaking of forms, we want to look at forms of design. So design could either be in form of still graphics, where it's really static, like the picture you saw, and sometimes in today's world it's also in the form of motion graphics, where we tie some form of motion to the design, so the design actually moves, and the process of moving, it actually captures attention and actually effectively communicates an idea to the end user. So I want to also explain to you some of the tools that you might likely use. So some of the tools I use, breaking it down. First of all, we have offline tools, and for the offline tools we have the hardware tools and we have the software tools. When I talk about the hardware tools, I want to tell you that imagine the fine artist right now singing his job. I mean, we have lots of designers who are art specialists and they still draw and they still achieve this effective communication. I mean, like in simple way, because they're using pictures, trying to paint pictures, trying to use colors to achieve those things. And somehow, at some point, before today, it's the hard way. So you could see that hardware, they're still very, very relevant. Although software has an advantage in that you can easily transfer information over cloud these days and all these kind of things. But the foundation is that they can be offline where you're not connected to any form of internet or so, but you can work with it on your local computer. You can work with it offline. You can work with it maybe from your house or something without actually needing a computer. So you'll be able to categorize these tools in either offline tools or online tools. So speaking on online, we have the websites. There's some websites that you can go that can enable you to design. Some of them today, we have Canva.com, we have Postama, we have a lot of them. And there are also digital platforms. There's some platforms that you can use that are specially designed. I mean, like there are softwares that actually run on the cloud, and the sole purpose of these platforms are to enhance you in designing at any time, at any day. So with that said, I want to talk about careers in graphics design so that you can know that maybe there is an opportunity. But I'm telling you that it's very, very large. And one of the things that is going to help you stand out in this career or in this newfound skill, it's when you go, it's your ability to specialize. So as you start, you can try your hands on a lot, but I'm telling you that these careers, there are a lot of people to become more effective. They have zeroed in all of these areas. So some of the careers that we have include book and publishing designer, where we talk about publishing books on a Kindle, Amazon, or maybe print publishing for some purposes. Maybe you work for Times Magazine, maybe you work for any of the local magazines that you know, or newspaper. We also have marketing and advertising, where people come together to see how they can effectively create marketing campaigns that can enable people to buy a particular product or service. We also have the brand logo and identity designer. The brand logo and identity designer, I mean, talks about the brand image, the logo, talking about identifying a company, just using the logo to showcase who a brand is. So they zero in, they are specialists in this area. So you too can become a specialist in packaging. You can become a specialist in typography. Just type and text. Well, as we go on, you're going to understand just text. You can specialize in all these things that we talk about. You can specialize in using illustration, trying to communicate through art. Maybe you're an artist. You can also leverage in coming to use digital illustration to be able to communicate. Like everything you see here, this is just digital illustration. And then you can also focus as a user experience specialist, where you talk about how design relates to the end user. And you can also be a web or mobile app designer, where you talk about how it works with creating websites for the end user. It works with creating visibility platforms and visibility tools and interactive applications that favors the end user or favors a particular business. So with that said, I want to show you that it's really, really a wide part, and these are just a few that I identified. And I want to tell you that graphics design cuts across lots of industries. Of recent, I realized that even the army actually requested for graphics design. Even it will come to a time that design is needed in even education. Design is needed in the medical field. Wherever communication is really, really needed, I want to show you, I want to say that design can be there, and you can craft out that space for yourself. It doesn't have to end with some of the things that I've mentioned. Those, there are voids there, and you could craft out maybe for customer experience or for something. But I want to tell you that there is a lot to which you can do, or which you can benefit from your newfound skill. So until then, see you in the next model, where we're going to be taking time to actually move forward into understanding the principles and then moving forward into the design proper. So see you in the next model.